an internet radio talk show where we help you connect spirit and divine guidance. Lisa Kay, your host, brings you shows that can enhance and transform your life with tips and new ideas for more happiness, abundance, and better relationships. Lisa is an expert on intuition and can show you how to strengthen your inner guidance to empower yourself. Each show is positive and uplifting to inspire your day. Her guest speakers are specialists on self-help, positive thinking, spirituality, and conscious living. Be the best that you can be with Between Heaven and Earth, conscious living for your soul.
And angel blessings to everyone. Our show today answers the question, what is psychic energy? Now, this is one of those questions almost everyone has when it comes to developing their psychic and intuitive abilities. And today, I'm going to answer this question for you. I'm Lisa Kay. I'm your host on Between Heaven and Earth. And every week, we bring you some inspiring topics. And this week, we're going to go back to what I would say is like a little mini lesson. And we're going to talk about psychic energy. So, let's start first with talking about what the difference is between being psychic and being intuitive. And since most of the time I'm teaching about intuition, I don't want to scare people away by talking about this, quote, psychic stuff. And some of you might like it. But intuition is just the beginning of being psychic. It's like a progression from being, the beginning. You start out in the beginning, where you're not so great at it, and then you work at it, and you become better and better until you're advanced. And I'd like you all to remember that you can all get to that advanced level of intuition and be more psychic. And that's what happened to me. I started out from scratch and worked with my intuition until I became what people would call psychic or an advanced intuitive, right? So when I use the word psychic here, I want you to know that I also mean intuitively advanced. So that's, you can keep that in your mind. So we're going to go over this psychic energy. You might want to take some notes because this is really good stuff. When I first...
The future of internet radio is here. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Matt Connerton here. Join Jen Coffey and I twice a week for Matt Connerton Unleashed, a political talk show that's a little different than what you're used to. No liberal or conservative agenda here, just an honest dialogue about truth and how things really work in the world of politics. Matt Connerton Unleashed, every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. What if business could be fun? What if business is the adventure of living? What are you choosing? Where do you do business that makes it easier, more fun, or more joyful for you? We'd love to see where you do business. Connect with us on Instagram at Joy of Business or Twitter at Joy of Business. And share your pictures with hashtags BusinessDoneWhere and Joy of Business. Let's change the world with business.
Hi, this is Sylvia Henderson, intuitive life coach and energy healer. Are you ready to elevate and rise way above your normal? Be sure to listen to my show, Intuitive Transformations, on OMTimes Radio, Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. Get the inspiration you need to transform your life.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
And welcome back. I'm Lisa Kay, and you're listening to Between Heaven and Earth Radio, right here on OMTimes, the OMTimes Radio Network. And we're talking about psychic energy and what it is. So we're giving a little mini lesson here. And I wanted to also let you know that I teach this material in more depth in the classes that I give, Developing Your Intuition, Level 1 and Level 2. And Level 2 is actually coming up June 29th online. So anywhere you are in the world, you can take it. And you do not have to take Level 1 if you feel that you wanted to learn more about this information in depth. That's what I go through. And just give you some tidbits as we go along. Some of the things you're going to learn are going to answer the questions like, how do I know I'm getting a real psychic message? How do I know when spirit is around me? And how do I know when I'm connected and ready to receive psychic messages? So that's what we'll answer for you in the course, in the workshop. So if you're interested, you can go to my website, lmk88.com/press, Press, and find out more about that level, that more advanced intuition and psychic development level. And we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. Okay, so we are going to go on and talk about, I believe we're going to move into the Chinese, the ancient Chinese, what the ancient Chinese masters knew. We were just talking about how to take care of your human energy system, and the ancient Chinese masters knew a lot about energy. And this is because the whole Chinese philosophy about how the world is made is based on an understanding and a belief that energy makes up everything. So the ancient masters knew that everything was made up of energy, and our Western science has proven this. And in ancient China, they developed something called Qigong, which is the study of energy and how it works. Qi means energy, and that's often spelled Qi. And Gong, G-O-N-G, means work. So Qigong is literally energy work. Now, Qigong tells us that energy is continually flowing into and out of our bodies. And the energy is like water flowing through rivers and into lakes. And as the energy flows through our chakras, which are the energy doors or portals in our energetic body, as it flows through those doors, it gathers into three main places in our body called the dantians. And again, this is the Chinese words. I probably don't say it properly with the accent, but these dantians, there are three dantians, and they're like lakes or pools of energy where the energy is stored, and then it flows out from there through channels, and the channels are called Meridians. So these are streams of energy, like rivers or streams. And those meridians go out and they reach all the different parts of our body, all the cells. So it's like the circulatory system of our blood. So now we're getting a picture of the energetic body, which is superimposed on our physical body. They kind of mix and meld and are all in one place. It's just that one sits within the other. And according to Qigong, there are three ways we can interact with the flow of this energy. And the better it flows, the more balanced it is. And when it's more balanced, we are healthier energetically as well as physically. So there are three ways that we can interact with this energy. The first thing is through what we eat, and we just spoke about that. And the second is through our breath, physically through our breath, our movement, and our posture. And the third is with our mind, our intention. So it's the way we eat, number one. This is how Qigong says that we work with energy. What we eat through our breath and movement and posture. That's the second. And the third is through our mind or using our intention. Now, we talked about the first, which is what we eat. The second one, Qigong teaches us that movement is one of the keys in maintaining our energy flow and balance. And that is because certain movements and stretches open up our meridians, open up those channels in our bodies. So that's why some of these Qigong movements are very prescribed. And sometimes they look a little funny, but that's the idea behind it. I believe it's also the same idea behind yoga. The stretches. Now, relaxed movements are going to help the energy flow more easily, and any tension that we are holding in our muscles or our joints is going to prevent that energy from flowing. So you want to be relaxed, you want to get rid of tension. And most of the Qigong exercises that you see people do have been designed specifically for helping that flow. And they've been designed over thousands of years of practice to open and clear certain energy channels in the body for both your energetic and physical health. Now, you might have heard of Tai Chi, and Tai Chi looks similar to Qigong. Tai Chi is a series of gentle, flowing movements that are relaxed and are meant to harmonize the mind, body, and spirit. Now, a lot of people may not know this, but Tai Chi was originally created as a martial art. But many of the movements in Tai Chi have Qigong forms in them. And the movements are good for cultivating and moving your energy. And that's why people use Tai Chi for health benefits. Some people call Tai Chi moving meditation. And I've done Tai Chi for, almost 10 years now. And it's wonderful. I've also done Qigong. I'm actually a certified Qigong practitioner. And it's really, really cool. Great for your body. Now, Barbara Brennan, who I mentioned earlier, who's the expert on energy healing, and she created her own energy healing modality. What she says is that movement will enhance and strengthen your lower chakras, which is down in your lower abdomen, which are your energy portals that are associated with the physical aspects of your body. And again, they're in the lower part of your torso. You don't need to do Tai Chi or Qigong. You can go for a walk to help get your energy moving. So if you don't know where you can do Tai Chi or Qigong, you don't have to do those. Some exercises, walking is good. The aerobic exercise of walking is going to get your energy flowing and your breath moving and get your circulation going. And that's all wonderful, wonderful for both your physical body and certainly your energetic body. Now, Qigong says that your breathing is important for increasing and moving your energy, and that's a really vital part of bringing in good energy and getting rid of the negative energy. Deep breathing helps you move energy through your energetic system. And Barbara Brennan says, and I'm going to quote her here, "Through breath control, we can regulate the direction of flow of energy through our body and auric field," unquote. So we can regulate and direct the flow of energy with our breath. And I discovered for myself that I'm a natural energy healer. And one of the things I was guided to do as an energy healer is to guide energy while I was breathing deeply. And that was something I didn't really know much about. I just felt like I needed to do that. And this validated it for me. And one of the reasons why, and this might help you, one of the reasons why I felt I needed to do it, not only was I guided, but also I got results. And the results were that I could feel the energy flowing more strongly when I had certain deep breathing patterns. And it wasn't until later that I, read from Barbara's book. I'll quote it for you again. She said, "Healers breathe strongly and deeply to increase their energy and power for healing." And so when I saw that, it validated what I was doing naturally, and it was really, really kind of cool. That's the fun part about learning all this good stuff, right? So healers breathe strongly and deeply to increase their energy and power for healing. That's what she said. Now, exercise helps us breathe more deeply, certainly, right? If you're running, if you're on the treadmill, if you're on the elliptical, or swimming, you're going to breathe more deeply, and that helps your energy flow. Now, again, even if you just go out for a walk, that's going to help exercise your breathing and help you move your energy. And we want to remember that we want to move energy. That's what Qigong teaches us. Movement is key to maintaining our energy flow and balance. If your energy doesn't move and it doesn't flow, that's not good for your energy in general. Now, the third way we interact with energy in our bodies, according to Qigong, is through our thoughts and our intention, our mind. And this was one of the things I think that I found fascinating. This consistent through all the energy modalities that I studied, and I studied probably about half a dozen of them. They always they all use the mind. They all use thoughts and intention. Energy follows your thoughts and is guided by your intention. And many schools of spiritual development have meditation as being key in training your mind so it can be a clear and powerful guide for energy. So that's really fascinating. It's really important to know that what you do with your mind and how you handle your thoughts and being able to clear your mind. So it's a good channel and director of energy is important. So our higher self, which is a part of us that connects us to universal consciousness, is always interacting with our conscious mind. And when we use meditation, we're able to connect more clearly with our higher self. So that's what's important about meditation and how we want to use meditation to connect to that higher self. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that and how our higher self works with our energy and gives us some messages. Because it's something that's really important for us to grapple with and work with in terms of knowing how to connect. The Chinese call our higher self as, quote, Yuan Shen, and I'm not pronouncing it exactly right, but they call the higher self, which is, some people think of that as our soul, as the Yuan Shen, and they call our conscious mind the Shen Zi. So if our Shen Zi, or conscious mind, is too active, it becomes what they call the monkey mind. And then it's difficult for your Yuan Shen, or your higher self, to be heard through our intuitive messages. So, and according to the ancient Chinese texts on energy alchemy, the Shen Zi, or conscious mind, is supposed to be the servant of our higher self, of our soul, or the Yuan Shen. So we're going to take a break and we'll come back and finish up this thought on how you can use your intention and your mind to control and direct energy.
Your conscious connection to a more mindful world. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Radio Namaste leads you down the yellow brick road into portals of consciousness with the blue-collar goddess as your host. Interviews with humans who could be famous or just popular, and answers to everything are on the agenda. Tune into OMTimes Radio and drop in on Thursdays at 3 Eastern. It's a different brand of enlightenment.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Live with medium Lisa Phoenix, Mediumship Messages and Musings, explores mediumship and all things metaphysical. Lisa Phoenix invites you to reach above and beyond your everyday experiences to explore new dimensions in the spirit world. She will do live readings to connect callers to their loved ones in spirit, shares engaging stories and teachings from her own personal experience, and will have intriguing conversations with other mediums, spiritual teachers, and healers to help you understand the metaphysical world so you can connect to these forces in your day-to-day life. Join your host on this magical and metaphysical journey into the world of spirit every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes.
And I'm Lisa Kay, and you're listening to Between Heaven and Earth Radio, and we are back And we're at the half-hour mark. I wanted to let you know about my Advanced Intuition and Psychic Development online course. It's coming June 29th. And you're going to learn a lot of really cool things there. One of the things that people want to know is how to answer relationship questions. You know, is this my soulmate? Where will I find them? Health questions. What do I need to do to be healthier? Job and career questions. You know, should I change my job? Should I move? I'll teach you in the online class how to answer all those questions and how to get detailed information for yourself or someone else. You'll learn about how to use divination tools, which are oracle cards, do remote viewing, so you could see into other places from afar, and how to protect yourself from negative energy, or as we talking here about how to boost your energy. And I teach you lots of techniques that I've learned how to use over the years that work really, really well. On how to get information from just a name or a photograph, how to scan the future or the past, and how to do evidential mediumship. Teach you how to connect to past loved ones and receive clear evidence that they are still around. I teach you all of that online. You don't have to leave. You don't have to go anywhere. Just be at home. And we also teach you how to start your spiritual business. What are the pitfalls to watch out for, and how to get it going, how to start your business, get out there, be known, build your client list. And we also go into internet marketing and how to use it and the power of the technology and internet to reach more people and build your business faster. So that's coming up. You can go to my website at lmk88.com, sign up for my newsletter, and I will be sending you more information about this. Or you can find directly about this course at lmk88.com/press, PRESS. And just go over there, check it out. Okay, so let's continue our discussion about how you use your thoughts and intention to direct energy. And we were talking about the connection between our soul and our mind, and how to listen to our soul, our higher self, through disciplining our mind so that we can hear it. Now, according to ancient Chinese texts on energy alchemy, the Shen Zi, which is our conscious mind, is supposed to be the servant of our higher self. And you're supposed to be guided by your higher self, which is wiser and more knowing and connected to all that is, all knowing, so that you can really tap into that divine knowledge through your intuition. So it was really nicely summed up by Albert Einstein, who said this, quote, "The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is its faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift." So Albert Einstein recognized that the intuitive mind is a gift and we're supposed to use it. Now, meditation is, when you use it, it helps us become more aware of our higher self, and it's very important to developing your psychic and intuitive skills. So meditation is key. It's key in Qigong, and to developing what the Chinese call the 8 supernatural powers, which you and I would call psychic skills. Now, if you have trouble meditating, you can begin your mental training with what is known as guided meditations. Now, guided meditations do 2 things for you. They keep you on track when you meditate, and secondly, they help develop your imagination. And imagination is how you direct and move energy. You imagine what you want, where you want the energy to go, and it does it. Your imagination also resides in the part of your brain where you receive your intuitive messages. And guided meditations are usually what they are narrated by someone who is going to give you a story, tell you a story to follow in your meditation. And the story is usually telling you to use your imagination to create a journey to a safe place that relaxes and guides you through scenarios that may raise your energy or help you access your intuitive mind. And I have a few guided meditations that you can get on my website. And actually, you can get them as a download on Amazon. They're really inexpensive. They're less than $1. And you could try those. And guided meditations are a great way to start learning how to meditate. Your intuitive mind is your right brain, which is the right side of your head, the right side of your cortex. And this is where your subconscious lives, and it's a part of your brain that has immediate access to your intuitive and psychic messages. It's also the place where your creativity and your imagination functions. So by meditating with guided meditations, we're strengthening our imagination and our ability to connect consciously to our right brains, to our intuitive processor. And our imagination, again, is how we create intentions to guide energy. Now, chakra clearing is an example of how to use your imagination to guide energy and work with clearing your energetic field. So if you know how to do that, great. It helps maintain and clear your energetic field by opening and clearing your chakras. And the chakras, again, are doorways or portals in our energetic body. And if they're clogged, then the energy can't enter, and the bad energy can't leave, and the good stuff can't come in. And a simple chakra clearing meditation is great for this. It's usually, again, a guided meditation. I have one that people love, and you can go check that one out. And you follow this narration, and it's not too hard to do. So there are lots out there. You can use mine or someone else's, but those are good. So keeping up your energetic health by raising your energy vibration and keeping it clear and balanced is how we become clearer receptors for psychic and intuitive messages. And remember that our bodies and our minds are the most powerful tools in receiving psychic information. So let's go back. Now, we have gone through the 3 Qigong ways of interacting with the flow of our energy, and now we're going to go to the steps to develop your psychic skills. I believe we're actually up to number 2. And this is working with energy, learning how to sense it, how to work with your energy. And one of the best ways to learn how to sense energy is to practice energy healing. I was very drawn to energy healing early on because I wanted to, not because I wanted to be an energy healer, but I was very curious about what this energy is, what's this energy healing, and I felt guided to learn more about it. As I mentioned earlier, I'm certified in lots of modalities. I'm a crystal resonance therapist. I've done integrated energy therapy. I've done Reiki. I'm a Reiki master teacher. And I also do medical Qigong therapy, which is the Chinese Qigong practitioner. And over the years of the healing energy work and studies I've done, it really helped me learn and know tremendously what energy feels like to me. And I would say out of the 5 modalities of energy healing that I've studied, I would say Reiki is the easiest to learn and the most accessible. So if you want to learn energy healing, I encourage you to learn Reiki. You can learn Reiki almost anywhere in the world, and that's spelled Reiki. Reiki. It's actually a Japanese form of energy healing. And some of it's quick. You could do it very quickly. You can learn Reiki level 1 in a day or 2 days. Some take longer, but most of them are that short. And now some of the other energy healing certifications I've had to take, which took years, really years to complete. If you want to go that way, that's fine. Energy healing helps you feel energy as it flows within you and how it feels in your hands. Not all teachers are going to help you focus on working with energy like that in their Reiki class, but as a Reiki teacher, I do that. I teach you how to feel it and how to work with it. You might get that more in Reiki too with other people, but I teach it from the beginning because I feel it's important for you to try to experience how the energy feels. And just having the opportunity to experience how it feels in your body and your hands is going to help you learn how to sense it and how to move it. Now, aside from energy healing, you can also practice just sensing energy. And the way it feels in your body is really key for psychic development because it's the shifts in energy that you feel that give you information psychically. And you can pick up energetic messages from objects or people, places, anything physical, any item that's physical, or even something that's non-physical. And you might know that people who are negative or who have ill intent often give off energy that you can feel long before you run into them or get close to them. And to learn how this energy would feel to you is important so you know what to stay away from. Or as most people ask, what do I do to shield it or to negate it? And, you need to know what the negative stuff is first. Sometimes we don't know. And it just affects us. I often energetically sense what foods would be okay for me to eat if my stomach is not doing so well. I can sense what foods would even make me feel better by sensing the energy of the food and even if I haven't eaten it before. And that's all intuitive, what feel. And I'm usually right. That's how I validate it. And when you're more skilled, you can even sense the energy of a place and pick up information about the people who work or live there. I have a fun exercise that I did just once to practice, and I'll give you that story. It was a few years ago. I went to visit my husband's office, and it was the first time I was there. And since I arrived after everybody had gone home for the day, the office was empty. And I told my husband, I want to walk around the office a bit and see if I could sense the personalities of the people who sat at each desk, just by tuning into the energy that was left there all day, every day. And by walking by each desk, I was able to accurately describe each person's personality by the energy that they left in their desk or their chair. Because they were there all day, all the time. And wherever you are, wherever you spend the most time is where you're going to leave your energy behind. And other people can pick that up and sense it. So that was a really cool exercise. And I was able to validate that I was correct because my husband would tell me whether I was right or wrong. And that's something that, if you have a chance, you can do if you're with somebody who is open to this and who's willing to play the game and knows about the space that you're in. If you meet somebody who's into this and is okay with it and you haven't been to their house before, you can go in and see if you can sense the energy in their house. So that's a really good, fun way to practice and exercise feeling energy. And we'll be right back, and we're going to continue our discussion on psychic energy.
The best of holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Hi, this is Sylvia Henderson, intuitive life coach and energy healer. Are you ready to elevate and rise way above your normal? Be sure to listen to my show, Intuitive Transformations, on OMTimes Radio, Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. Get the inspiration you need to transform your life.
Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Hello, I'm Miriam Knight of New Consciousness Review, inviting you to my new show where I interview the rising stars of the conscious awakening. We'll explore the many faces of consciousness in action and intriguing perspectives on life, the universe, and everything in between. Join us each Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern on the Rising Stars Show.
Free your mind with OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Welcome back. I'm Lisa Kay, and you're listening to Between Heaven and Earth. And we're talking about energy, intuitive energy, and ways to work with it, psychic energy, and how you can improve your interaction with it, know what it is. So we were talking about ways that you can exercise or interact with energy. And there are a couple of ways you can learn how to feel energy and what energy feels like in your body by working with crystals. Now, crystals are my favorite. They're amplifiers of harmonic energy. And what that means is that the energy that they emit is harmonized into one kind of resonance. So what does that mean? Well, it's not noisy energy. It's energy that's pure. So if you want to compare it to sound, it's a pure sound as opposed to a noisy, messy one. So it's easier to feel. And this is due to the crystalline structure within the stone. And I can't go into the science right now. We don't have much time, but you can learn more about that in my crystal class. Now, by holding different crystals in your hand, you might be able to feel the different energy vibrations that they emit. And I've done this with many people by giving them several types of crystals to hold. And you can do that if you have the chance to run into a gem store or a place where they sell crystals. You can see if you can feel the difference. Some people that I would give the crystals to were doubtful, or they don't usually feel that, or when they first start, or they don't usually feel energy in general, but they were really surprised that they could feel the energy in the stones. And of course, for the doubters, I picked stones that I knew had very strong energy fields. So it was always kind of fun to see the look on their face. Now, crystals give you a good way to practice what energy feels like in your physical body, because it helps you focus your awareness on a particular part of you, which in this case would be your hand or your palm. And you should expand your awareness of how energy feels in your body or different places in your body. You could focus on how a part of you feels, which is really key in being able to be aware of subtle feelings that you pick up psychically. Now, initially, you should be practicing your awareness of how you physically feel. Later, you can work on how energy shifts in your emotions, in your emotional feelings. So you can start your physical feelings by learning how to notice or learning how your muscles are feeling. Now, we all say, well, I know how my muscles feel, but, if you notice it, and we don't always notice it, sometimes we'll sit in a funny way and we don't realize that we're sitting in a funny way until we get up and then, leg hurts or our back hurts. It's because we've been sitting funny, but we ignore it. So you have to learn how to notice what your body is feeling. What do your muscles feel like? Do they feel tense or relaxed or even sore? And another good practice is to do a relaxation meditation where you focus on every part of your body and relax it consciously. Another way you can practice is by sensing energy when in your body when you're out and about. So you might be out at the mall. You can walk into different stores and notice how each store or place makes you feel and what's different about the feeling of each place. Now, you might feel a certain emotion or maybe just a gut feeling. Each place is going to have a different feel. And you might think, oh, well, it's just me making it up. That's okay. Just stop and notice what is different. And you could just pause and tune into your body and then take a step outside and see what you feel. See what the difference is. You could do this surreptitiously. You don't have to, look like you're jumping inside of a store. You can walk in and then walk out and maybe go back. Oh, I forgot. I want to go look at that again, right? Go back in. And that's the best way because, sometimes once you go into a place and you spend more time there, your feelings kind of get used to being there. So then when you leave, you want to see the difference, the change, and notice the change in your feelings. Of course, again, you could just pretend you're being a shopper. You don't have to look at like you're playing with the energy. So what does energy feel like? The feeling of energy is actually very, very subtle, and which is the same for your psychic or your intuitive messages. And sometimes they're so subtle they go unnoticed, and that they go by very quickly. And sometimes you even have to think, did I really feel something? I think I did. and you have to stop and open up your awareness. Just like when you hear something at night in the dark, oh, wait, did I hear something? And all of a sudden you stop and you pause and you open up all your senses to listen, see what you can sense. So by practicing sensing energy and being able to open up to that energy, you can amplify your awareness to it. It's more noticeable in your conscious mind. And when you are more aware, it's going to become clearer to you that it's there. So that's why it's good to quiet your mind a little bit when you're doing the energy hunting, I call it. And then you learn how and discover what energy actually means to you. That is, whether it's like a good energy or a not so good one. Now, energy can feel like little buzzes or tingles. You know, you feel like a little, I guess, maybe your hair might stand up, or you feel a little buzz go through you, or you might feel a slight temperature difference. It's very slight, or maybe the energy feels like a change in the atmosphere, a change in the air, that the air has gotten a little heavier or lighter. Or you might feel that rush that goes up your spine or down your arm or your leg. Doreen Virtue likes to call them angel bumps. You might get goosebumps, like the goosebumps you get when you're cold, but you're not cold. It's just energy. And sometimes energy is just an emotional feeling. You might feel a change in your emotions, tense, sad, heavy in your heart, or you feel uplifted. So be on the lookout for these different energy sensations. You may not be able to pinpoint a reasonable explanation for it, so then you might attribute it to energy. Now, the third step in working with energy is to develop your psychic ability. In helping develop your psychic abilities is to be able to interpret what the different energies mean. So the third step is knowing what the different energies mean. How do you interpret it? And after you've become aware of how to sense the energy, right, that's something it's more, you got to know that it's there, and you're able to practice feeling it and even moving it, energy healing, you could move it. Then you move on to interpreting the messages that different energies have. One of the mistakes that people make in trying to learn how to receive psychic messages is that they believe the messages will come to them in complete sentences in great detail. And this is because when you go to someone who's very experienced in picking up all these psychic messages and interpreting them, they sound like they're getting full downloads of information as if they were narrating a story. And I assure you they're not. They're getting pieces. They're getting bits and pieces. It might be a feeling. It might be a pop-up image, a word. They're detectives in working with this information and putting it together and making sense out of it for someone else. So that's what you see. You see the end result. And when you are receiving your energetic feelings, it's just a little piece. It's just a feeling. It's an energetic feeling. And that's one of the pieces that you can use to build your messages and it's just giving you a little more information. Now, when you receive psychic messages or energetic feelings, you're receiving them mostly in the right side of your brain. And this, again, is where your brain, your intuition processor is. And it's handling them in a more abstract, parallel way than sequentially. And I know that might be a little hard for you to follow, but it's not like words. It's not sequential. So it comes in impressions and it comes all at once. And your job is to put all those impressions together. And eventually, as you work with it, you'll be able to do that. So the key is to make sense of your psychic impressions of energy first and be able to sense them rather than creating a long story around one impression, around this guess. You're guessing what this impression means that you've created with your ego or your logical mind. So you want to be able to collect all these little pieces and know, okay, this is a negative feeling, that's a positive feeling. And then you're going to go back and forth between your intuitive brain, your right brain, and your left brain to be aware and put these pieces together. It'll form a story for you. But that's what we go into in a deeper course. I'll show you how to do that. So what I wanted to do finally is to go back to this whole spirituality thing. It's important that, I think what we were talking about earlier is that as you move on the spiritual path, your intuitive and psychic abilities grow. So the question might be, why is being psychic or being filled with energy and your intuitive abilities important to spirituality? Can you be spiritual without these things? And when I asked my guides this, they said this: your spirituality lies within your ability to be in the wholeness of yourself in the physical. And to that end, you must realize that the only real importance in being physical is the connection you have to spirit through your energetic side. And this makes your physical being complete. You can't separate the two. They're all one and the same. So if you look at your physicalness without the aspects of your being connected to energy, then you're denying that part of you, which is the essence of your wholeness. So since you've denied this in yourselves or your culture, it's now necessary that you reconnect with that part of you that is necessary for you to become a whole, an entire person. Once you are whole, then you embody all those things you are meant to be, to have, and become. So that's why energy is important to spirituality. So this was a relatively short explanation. It took about an hour, but there's so much more involved in it. And I teach that all to you in all my classes, and you can find out more when you go to lmk88.com. So join us next time. You've been listening to Between Heaven and Earth, Conscious Living for Your Soul. See you next time.